Wednesday. It is a gorgeous day here. You have dialed in, tuned in, showed up, hit the wrong button. I'm not sure, but you have found engagement. Welcome to engagement. So I hear this all the time. If you've ever been on this channel, you've heard me say it before. I've said it once. I've said it a million times. I'm going to say it 1,000,001 more times. People say to me, "Hey, Doug, you're a wedding officiant and you have a channel called Engagement where you talk to people. Is it all about, people getting married? Is it all wedding stuff, people that are engaged, lovebirds, etc.?" And I say, no. Uncle Dougie likes to chit chat with people that are interesting. And the word engagement from the Bible, from the dictionary, means to engage, to come together, to have a meeting, to have a chit chat. And that's really what I like to do. And here in Engagement, I like to talk to people that I find interesting, people that I find to a great, addition to our culture, to our world, people that are doing great things. And today is no different. So in the past, we've talked to some incredible, phenomenal females. We've talked to some wedding specialists because that's what I do as well. And right now we're in the middle of doing what we call the family farm to family show, which is basically female people that bring things to our tables, whether that's farming, whether that's through beverages, whether that's through whatever. And today we are going to continue with that. And it's been a really fun series because we've been talking to people that you may not know, talking about things that you may not be aware of. So today I'm really happy to bring on someone who is very, actually she's quite shy, but maybe she's got a couple of drinks in her. So we have Sandy coming on from Red Barn, and Sandy is one of the owners, one of the innovators, one of the thinkers and movers and shakers of Red Barn. And Sandy, there you are. How's it going, Sandy?
Good.
Are you having a drink?
Not currently, actually.
Not currently. Well, yeah. I am, of course, in my Red Barn glass, and definitely a good spot to go and visit. So you guys are in the beer business now. You've heard people say, "Oh, someday I'd like to open a bar or maybe get into the beer business," and because I like to drink, and I say, yay, do that. You guys actually did it. I mean, I know the conversation came around your table at your home, and you thought about this great idea, and then it culminated through a lot of talking and hard work. And I've got a picture of the barn. This is one of my favorite shots because I've of course creeped your page. This is one of my favorite shots.
Ooh.
That I know, isn't that great?
Yes.
Yeah. So tell me how this happened. How did you guys get here?
Well, I'd say it's like my husband and my brother are the ones that basically started it, and I kind of got roped along for the ride. But no, it's been amazing. They started brewing in our basement. Like I don't even know how many years ago now, like 8 years ago.
Wow.
And yeah, they just obviously enjoy beer as well, but they enjoyed the chemistry behind it, and decided to go for it.
So how were those first beers coming out of your basement?
Not the greatest. I actually was not a beer fan initially. But they kept, obviously we had a surplus. So I definitely was up for trying it. And the first few, not so good, but they were dialing it down and made some pretty decent brews. And we gave a lot out just to get feedback from friends, family, neighbors.
Market research. We call that market research.
Yes, exactly. There was some positive feedback, and then definitely adjustments in beginning. And but they make a delicious beer now, and
a lot of delicious beers. And I know that right now you're also looking for anyone that has surplus rhubarb that they want to get rid of. So what's the rhubarb beer that's coming out that you guys are working on?
So last year we did a strawberry rhubarb sour. So I'm I'm not completely sure what kind of beer we're doing yet, but yeah, definitely we try to use as much local ingredients like peaches, cherries, rhubarb, anything that will
Well, we live in the heart of the land that
exactly.
grows so much. I mean, we grow
Yeah.
for the world. It's one of our phrases, and you guys are constantly using local product.
Hmm.
Um, so you guys have a real uh, I hate to say Canadian vibe, but I love this when I'm in the barn, and I didn't notice it till the second or third time I was there, and I looked up and I saw
The
this.
Tuesday sign. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is
So that
that is
yeah, that
so
would have
that is
been
so us.
that was kind of Denny's coin phrase there. So yeah, we just thought it fitting to put in the barn as well.
Yeah. Now you guys also grow your own hops. Is that correct?
We do, yeah. Actually, this just yesterday we started training them. So, um, well, last week we added the hot vines for them to grow on, like the rope for them to grow on. So we um, strung those all up, and then just yesterday we started training them. So you have to train them to go clockwise up, and and then once they take hold, then they can grow up to about a foot a day.
Wow.
Um, and yeah, and then we've had one row of them, and we just planted 75 more hot plants on the other side. Those will be
So
hopefully
I
taken up
not
as
being a
well.
farmer myself, I didn't know that they had to grow. They were trained to grow up. I just figured,
Yeah,
you put them in the ground and they grow like corn or any
no,
other
no,
sort of.
yeah, it's called a vine, actually, not a vine, a vine. So yeah, I learned a ton too. Like I had never seen a hot plant before, and I think that's one of the reasons we wanted to grow them here. Well, being a farm brewery, that's
Mhm.
I feel like it's part of the education of people coming out here and actually showing them what a hop looks like and how they grow, and just part of the whole farm experience.
So I'm always trying to find ways for people to market themselves or stand above the rest. And you know how back in the day, at least my day, because I'm older than you, we would do like field trips, and you'd get in the bus and you go somewhere, you learn something.
Hmm.
So I mean, you can't teach young kids about hops probably, or they
Well,
can't
you could teach
sample
them about
them.
the
They
hops,
can't
I'm sure.
sample
It's
them.
just, yeah.
So what if we were to like pull together some like adult field trips, so where you get on the bus and there's a bag of Oreos, you pass it around, and we all go through with a rope, and we learn about hops, and we
Yeah.
taste the hops. And I'm
Yeah.
just I'm just saying, I
No,
mean,
I'm
it
sure.
could
I'm
take
sure
off.
people would want to do like we have. Well, we've always talked about doing tours and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, just with the, um, just with the pandemic, it's slowed us down a bit. But now that we're, open, hopefully,
I'm just
we're doing
saying,
more.
with that kind of mentality of teaching adults about
Yeah.
field
Absolutely.
trip, you're learning about beer. I mean, when
Hmm.
I was a kid, in elementary school, that after you learned something, you had a nap. Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. See where Uncle Doug is
I
going
like.
there.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. So I'm assuming this is this the
Oh, yeah.
grain or
Yeah.
hop? What's going on here?
Nope, that's corn. So,
Corn.
yeah, not really much to do with the brewery, other than the brewery is in the background.
Love it.
But I've also I've started helping my dad out on the farm as well,
Nice.
because he owns. So technically, he owns. It was my grandparents' farm that we're on right now. So my dad owns that now. So it's about 100 acres here and we lease the part with the obviously the barn on it. But he also does like cash crop farming, so corn, beans, and wheat. And so yeah, he let me. He always teases me because he bought a new combine last year, and he says I wasn't interested in it until he bought this new combine, and I
Yeah,
didn't
they're
want to use the
fandangled now. Yeah.
the
So
old
we had a
one.
comment came in from James saying that someone needs to get you a
Someone
beer, and I don't disagree with that one little bit.
Yeah, I'm upstairs right now. They just finished a canning one of the beers that we're releasing this weekend. So
Nice.
I don't, it was just kind of a rush with the kids. There's soccer tonight, so Denny was making dinner and just yeah. I should
It's
have
yep.
grabbed a
Welcome
beer though.
to
That
it's
would
farm
have been
family, but
so
it's just
fun.
beer
Yeah,
farm family, right?
yeah. I'll
So
wait for James to bring me one.
is this the fam here?
Oh no, it's not. It's actually just some folks that came. They're friends that came for a drink. Uh, that would have been last fall or something. Yeah,
Nice,
yeah.
nice,
Just
nice. And
yeah.
then I also found this, which
Oh
um,
yes,
the donkey,
it's a
which
pretty new. Yeah, the West Coast IPA. It's delicious. Yeah,
yes, yes. Well, anything with
so fun.
donkey, so you can say jackass, is always
Yeah,
good in my book. So, right.
yeah,
And you also have, of course, great merch. I mean, you can go out and you can get yourself a, Red
yeah.
Barn
Lots of
uh,
glasses. Yeah.
glass. You can get yourself a Red Barn. I love this swag because of that. Oops,
Yes.
wrong side.
Yeah.
You can see it's sweaty because I wear it a lot. That's gross. Or this, Red Barn.
Oh wow. Yeah,
Well,
you're over there.
hey, I'm not just your average, I called you in for a reason, girl,
Yeah.
because I'm a big
Okay.
fan of what you guys do, and
Awesome.
yeah, I love what you guys have done out there. So it's when I show up there, it feels like home to me. So
Good. That's the vibe we're trying to go for. Yeah.
it
Like
is, it is. I mean, the
yeah.
patio is very cool. Here's
Yeah.
the a shot of the patio. This is where I think when you first opened the patio, I was
Yeah.
actually the first person on that patio when it officially opened.
Wow.
Yeah. Ticket number one, and I got
Oh yes.
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then you guys also do a lot in the way of group events and the group support. So this here came. I saw this come up as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was recently. So all the females, staff, family, friends, got together, and yeah, we decided on what style of beer we wanted to brew. Yeah, we were involved with the recipe, the label, just the whole brewing aspect.
This is
Obviously,
very
we
cool.
needed. So Steve and Dan are two brewers here, and obviously we needed their help, their guidance, but they let us roll with it. We weighed all the ingredients, yeah, milled the barley, put that all in, and there's also a lot of cleaning to do with it too, but yeah, it was fun. And then we canned it and obviously sampled it, and yeah,
You've got to
and
sample it.
it's a Pink Boots Society is an organization to try to get females more involved in the industry. Part of the proceeds will go back to that organization.
Awesome. That's great.
Yeah,
I mean, you guys definitely lead with your heart. So you also have a lot of fun out there. You have a lot of events. So
yeah,
the Red Barn
yes,
events are
yes,
always going on. I
yeah.
get my early
Denny.
emails from you
Yeah,
guys all the time saying this
Denny's
is
in
what's
charge of all
happening.
the promo and the marketing of that. So he does a really good job
Yeah,
on social media, and yeah, just all the events he has to organize and
it's a lot to do. And then there's of course upcoming. We've got this little Brewfest tour,
little.
which is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be so much fun. Yeah.
I love how the barn had its own personality, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well,
awesome.
we tried to reuse a lot of the stuff like from the original barn that we tore down at my grandparents' old farm. So we reused a lot of the beams, and you can see them from the road, and just with the patio. We reused the roof, like the steel on there for the patio and around the bar, and even in the washrooms. We tried to incorporate as much as we could.
That's awesome. I mean, it's upcycling, right, as well
Hmm.
as keeping
And the
part of
story, yeah.
keeping the story alive. So
Yeah, and just the whole barn wood on the barn we reused, and just
so
yeah.
I have a leading question for you, and
Sure.
this is not in your question package that I sent out to you. Do you ever use honey in your beers?
We we've talked about it. Yeah, we do need to do a honey beer. Yeah, definitely.
Well, it's
It's
very
we haven't yet, but
coincidental.
yeah, we'll
I have
we
a
can
honey
work on
lady
it.
on the line right now.
Yes,
So let's bring her in. So we have
yes,
next to join the conversation. We have Alecia, who is from the Honey Nest Farms, and so I know you guys know each other. And I was really happy when I
yeah,
sent out the request to talk to to more females about getting from farm to family, and you said I would love to have a conversation with Alecia. So Alecia, there you are.
Hi.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Very good, very good. So let's
Good.
just move you over here so we can see. So you are in the definitely in the farming business in the way of honey. We're gonna have to get you guys hooked up with Red Barn, and whether it's
Oh, our
honey bee,
pleasure. Yes.
yeah, something, right? Right, we'll make that
Yeah.
happen. So you guys are producing a lot of honey. I of course creeped your page as well, but I was things sort of make me giggle, which is not a bad thing. It's good to giggle. But when I saw this, which is not at all honey related, I just laughed.
That's our cow for beef this year.
I just love that. I just
Yeah.
love that. So yeah. So besides, of course, you have other things that you do out there.
Mhm.
You have obviously you have plants,
Mhm.
out
Yeah.
that way
Strawberries.
for the honeys to for the bees to collect from. You have produce a lot of honey, and I noticed your what are those things called? The bees are the the block, the wooden this here
Oh, yes. That's the hive body. That's what they
hive
call that.
body.
Hmm.
I noticed a lot of them are named.
Yes, they are. They're all named.
That's very
So,
cool.
yeah. Bees actually are very intuitive and they know you by your smell. So I always say, "Hi, rodeo. Hi, ladies. I'm here. It's just me," because I don't want to get stung. So I think whatever I can do to kind of calm them, calm my nerves, it's good.
Well, I would imagine it's people are worried about being swarmed and bit, but I'm just thinking like rodeo red barn beer. We look at that smash it together, right? Sounds good
Yeah,
to
there
me.
you go.
So yeah, here's a shot of course jar upon jar of honey.
Hmm.
When does honey become like in season?
In season. So different beekeepers do it different ways, but I only harvest once a year. I harvest in August and I harvest in early August. And the reason for that is then my bees still have lots of time to put honey up for the winter. I like to overwinter them with a store of honey, just because that's their food source. And rather than feeding them sugar, like a
Mhm.
fake food source, they might as well have their own. Besides, they've worked really hard for it, right? So,
Wow, look at
yeah.
you! I love
Yeah.
that. I love that.
Yeah.
So, I recently, or a couple years back, I was talking. Oh, look, Sandy got a beer. Yes,
Yay!
yay!
Yes, my husband brought me one.
Thanks, Sandy. Um, I was talking to someone who was really studying bees and honeycomb, and they said that if you eat honey from like a 60-kilometer radius of where you live, it will actually help you suppress allergies.
Yeah, actually, a bunch of my customers, they'll take a teaspoon of honey a day. One in particular has found that that really helps with her allergies because, yeah, they're collecting from our area,
Yeah,
right? So,
exactly.
mhm.
Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, it's if nothing else, it's a great reason to have honey every day, right?
Yeah,
And it
yeah,
does help.
actually, my doctor recommended it to me. She's like, "Oh, you have allergies. Do you know of anybody with honey?" I was like, "Yeah, I think I know somebody."
Well, they say 9 out of 10 doctors recommend honey. So I've got this shot here too. There's the uh the
The
houses out there
ladies.
doing their
Yeah.
thing, and how many of those settings do you have like around to for them to harvest from?
So originally I had 10. I lost a few last winter. And then this year, going into fall, the yellow jackets killed 5 out of my 7 hives.
Oh no.
So I watched them, like I couldn't even get 2 meters to my hive. Like they were attacking me, they were attacking the ladies. Like it was devastating. Right now I have 5 hives again. I had one solid hive and I've split from her and she's now 2 hives. And then I just bought 3 new nukes from BLB Honey. So it's not cheap, and there's lots of hard lessons, as with
Mhm.
any livestock, but yeah, I really love it. So
Yeah,
I'm going to keep doing it.
it's a labor of love, which is great.
Yeah. Yeah, for
So,
sure.
so for those that I don't know, I don't
Mhm.
study bees, and I love how you mentioned you call them the ladies.
Yeah.
So typically the females do the work.
Yes, the females do the work. There's this funny meme out there. It says, okay, so the males are called drones, and they say, so basically, drones' life are honey, nut, Cheerio, because after they mate, they die. So yes, I like that one.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So you provided a couple of photographs. This is one that I'll let you explain because I'm not really sure what's going on here.
Yeah, so at the farm, we're doing something called regenerative agriculture. So that's my husband and I, we're flipping a log, is what we're doing on the
Hmm.
sawmill. And we just finished our pasture off with all logs that would have been just burned in a burn pile.
Oh,
He sawed most of it. I helped him, and we did 5 acres of pasture
wow.
with our own timber.
Mm,
So, yeah,
wow. That's
yeah,
awesome. Good for you. It's hard work. It's, you go to bed tired, but you
yeah.
go to bed satisfied, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So how long have you farmed?
So I grew up on a farm. My mom and dad both grew up on farms. My nana was actually the radish lady in Erio.
Mm.
Yeah, everybody knew her as that. So she had like a small vegetable stand that was actually her life career. And then my grandfather was also on the other side was also a farmer, and my parents. And then I owned a derogating business for I was, yeah, since the age of 11, I've been in the seed cornfields.
Wow.
And when we got the farm, I just said to my husband, I'm done with the seed cornfields. I want to work my own land. And he agreed, like, yeah, that's a good idea. So, yeah, it's not our full-time job. He has another business which I work part-time with, and we're currently also building our home on the farm. So yeah, it's busy right now, but
That's awesome.
yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, it's our
Now,
dream place for sure. So,
absolutely. This
hmm
one here, I'm always that's another named one for you. Yeah, I
hmm
noticed there was a lot of them were named. I thought that was a really cool idea. So um let me just change this so we can all sort of have a little chit chat. There we go. So you guys all are in the farming business. You guys all provide something in some way that ends up on our tables that make our family happy in some way or nourished. And I think that's an incredible responsibility and a gift, really, because you do it because it's a labor of love. Um, if you uh, if you weren't doing what you're doing now, this is not a question I put in your question package. I always like to throw a few like curveballs in there. What would that be if you weren't making beer or farming and making honey? What would you do?
I actually
Uh,
went to school to be a teacher
oh, maybe it was
and
one of those
art
field
school,
trips
so
for
I don't know
adults.
how that
Those
fits in.
adult field trips to come to the honey place and then to the beer. Yeah,
Yes,
nice.
I went to school for GIS, which I did for a number of years, but then kids came in the picture, and I think I'd still be farming though. Like I
Yeah,
love working with my dad, and I never saw a brewery in my future, but yeah, it's been a fun ride.
nice. So I'm currently actually working my way through a cookbook, and it's broken into seasons. And not talking to you guys as farmers, I'm curious to know like what is going on right now in this season for you, for your farm, for your family. So let's start with Sandy. So what's going on right now in your business right now this season?
So just well, I primarily the hops, like that was a big undertake, like making sure all the rhizomes were planted, doing some transplanting too to make sure it's an even row, and yeah, roping those up, um, and yeah, just yeah, spraying and planting.
Mhm. Um, what's going on for everyone at the Honey Nest?
So our strawberries, the kids and I a couple years ago planted 500 strawberries,
Oh, good lord.
and last year they just took off unexpectedly. Um, yeah, lots of life lessons there. But this year I'm prepared. There's quite a few flowers coming on. The bees are loving it. I think I'll be able to offer U-picks, and we use organic practices. So yeah, I think that's going to be a good thing this year. Of course, we always have eggs, like we have regular egg customers, and we're gonna have chickens again this year and our beef. So I told my husband I would not take on any more projects because I feel like there's so many things we could do with the farm. And he's just like, how about we focus on the things that you're already doing?
Mhm.
So yeah, that's what we're
Do you
doing
do a
right
lot
now.
of beef and a lot of chicken?
Just 2 beef right now. Chicken, I'm gonna have probably 50
Wow.
roasters, and then um, yeah, the I have 40 laying hens, so we do have eggs and hatch out our own chicks, and yeah.
So, and if you watched last week's episode, whether you watched it live or watched it in replays, we talked about, of course, that being local and how important that is, and I, of course, believe in that myself. And there's no supply chain issues when it's local. Like it's down the road. It's in another county. It's nearby. You can drive and get it. So with honey and with beer and with chickens and eggs and beef, it's very local if you know who to talk to. And I think that's incredible. Like whether it was going to your grandma's radish stand and buying radishes or buying I saw fiddle ferns on your page too. I don't know if you guys do fiddle
Yeah.
ferns.
I'm hoping we can. Yeah, it was a project I wasn't going to take on this year, but yeah, we have ostrich ferns all down, like we have a valley and they're all down in there. So I
Mhm.
definitely want to offer that hopefully next year,
Nice,
actually. Yeah.
nice. So I mean, having that local flair, knowing where your food comes from, is such an important thing. Um, and that helps businesses like yourself to have people know that this came local. This the rhubarb that was in this beer in the sour was grown locally. The honey that was in this it's in this jar that I'm putting on my toast or put on my yogurt is local.
Mhm.
So what would
Yeah,
like
that's actually how we met, Alicia, like
Yeah.
from a mutual friend of ours, because I was
Yes.
looking for a local chicken supplier, and she gave me Alicia's name, and yeah,
Yeah.
see, look at that.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to be said for to support local and get to know your local and get to know that it's the freshest you can possibly get because it's just down the road and it was just picked or harvested or brewed recently. So there's something to be said for that, and I really want to support that and make sure that our listeners and our viewers watch and look for local products so they can help out those local purveyors that are growing things because if they keep supporting you, you can keep producing. It's just simple, very simple math. So let's just hope that people continue to do that.
And a lot of times you can actually see what you're getting. Like for example, you buy free range eggs at Walmart for over $6. But those free range eggs, you don't understand. Those chickens are just in the barn free ranging. They're not out on pasture living their best life,
Mhm.
right? So if you're supporting someone who's local, you know that they're putting their heart into it, and you can ask them these questions, and you can go and visit their farm hopefully and see for yourself what you're paying for.
Absolutely. My nana, I had a nana as well that lived out outside of Buxton. She had chickens, and this is before free range was even a thing, and they just walked around and pecked and clucked and woke you up at ungodly hour, and you had eggs, and it was I mean it's just the circle of life, right? They were always fresh, they're always there, they're always ready, and you knew where it came from, and I really feel bad for the kids that think that food means it comes from the local store. There's the store is the middleman. It came from a producer first that had to make that product or grow that product or harvest that product, before it came to the store. So if they're getting it right from the farm, there's a lot to be said for that. There's a lot of knowledge around that, because then you have those questions in the car on the way home. It's like, well, God forbid, how did that chicken lay that egg? Because I don't have an answer for that. I don't know. It's not going to be a pretty story from Uncle Doug, from Papa Doug. So, but yeah, I mean, I can explain how the beer is produced because I have a science degree. So now your lippy question number 2 that was not in your package, and I know, Alecia, you studied the questions.
I did. I studied them.
I don't ask them tough questions. So if you had someone, this one's for Sandy. Sandy,
Yep.
who would you want to come to your brewery, dead or alive, famous or unfamous, and what beer would you provide them?
Oh, jeez. I don't know. I gotta think about that. If I could have anyone, I would say actually my grandpa.
Neat.
Because he's the one. Yeah, he's the one that kind of started this whole farm, and he was here when we initially started brewing in the basement, but he wasn't able. He passed before we like had the barn ready and all that. So I don't know. It'd be nice to sit here and have a drink with him.
That's neat. Did he have any basement beer?
Yes, he did. He
Nice.
did have. Yeah, he did.
Good.
But that's before it was any good.
You didn't throw any of the beer down the drain, did you?
Yeah. Pardon?
You didn't throw any of the beer down the drain. Like, you drank it.
Oh,
right?
there was some we had to. Yes.
Oh Lord, it's a cardinal sin. So
Yeah.
Alecia, what about you?
Probably I'm going to follow Sandy's suit, but it's going to be my Nana, because when she was alive, I had no interest in farming. I was like, I will not marry a farmer, only because I had worked in farming so much growing up as a kid, right? And I would just pick her brain and say, Nana, how did you grow such amazing spinach and radishes, and what were the things that you put in place to do that? So it'd be great to have a conversation with her and just get her knowledge that I wish I should have gotten before she passed.
Yeah,
so.
Exactly. Good. Well, those are perfect answers. You mentioned radishes, right? So I'll blame this on the beer. I'm planning to. I started reading this book last year. My summer read was Finding Freedom, which was a book by Erin French, and she has a phenomenal restaurant in Maine, in Freedom, Maine. And her premise is that she would go to the farmers. She knew the farmers that she was buying the products from, so they're the freshest they could possibly be, and she would make sure that all of her menus were celebrating local, like, Maine produce. And so I ordered a book. I tend to do that when I'm watching a show and I'm reading a story and I really like it. I want to know more, and I love to cook. And there's 2 things in there right now that I'm planning to make and document the making of. And one is, so if your Nana was alive, I'd be buying her radishes, because she made a radish butter.
Oh, wow.
Which I know, right? And the other is fiddle ferns. I've never had fiddle ferns, and I saw them on your page. I'm like, I'm going to see if she's got fiddle ferns, because I'm going to make that. But having that fresh foraged food, like literally, like fiddle ferns, you go out into the sort of the damp forest or embankment to clip those, and there's always some fear of, like, can I eat this? Is this edible?
Some risk, 50-50.
There's a risk. There's a risk, yeah. So at least with beer, I know I can drink it. Some things you forage, I don't know. So I mean, there's something to be said about having that extremely fresh, right from the farm or right from the field, food. So is definitely something that I want to explore this year. That's part of the journey of Doug this year. So
Yeah, so
um,
fiddleheads only have a short season, Doug.
I know,
So they
I
are
know.
over now. Yeah.
Oh,
So let's get in contact next spring
right, right.
and I'll
This
get
is a
you some.
journey. It's not a marathon.
Yeah.
So, but the other thing that I really want to make sure that I do is because I said this last year. I proclaimed it the summer of let's enjoy the summer. Have the best summer ever. And it was a proclamation I made probably while drinking beer at, uh, at Sandy's place, and and I still think that's true. I mean, that's sort of enjoy our lives, and we've had enough time in solitude. So the other thing that's really on my mind is and apparently Denny's reading my mind, is that the patio has been calling my name. Thanks, Denny. I like that picture too, by the way. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't get any fresher than beer right from the tap, right? So, but ladies, thank you very much. I don't know if you have any
Thank you.
closing thoughts you want to impart about your business, or if you want to give a last minute plug for what you guys do. But I think you guys are phenomenal. When I first started thinking about this series months and months ago, thinking of how many females are out there that are producing something that ends up on our family table. And it's funny because I was only going to do a few of these, and they're starting to pour in. People are like, "Well, I do that," or "I have, I produce this." And I had someone from Windsor reach out to me today that makes cold brew coffee, and it just goes on and on and on. So I love it. I tend to celebrate the females because of my upbringing. My mom and my nana were the matriarchs of our family, and two older sisters that are that taught me to do right. So yeah, I love the fact that there's so many females in what probably was a more male oriented industry. In my day, a lot of the females were the ones that ran out to the combine and brought the food that was hot for the farmer to eat, as opposed to those that are actually out there, hands getting dirty, putting blood, sweat, and tears into it. So, ladies, I commend you for what you do. It's phenomenal. So, I'm going to put you in the green room for one quick second while I say adieu to these fine folks, and we'll be right back.
Thanks, Doug.
But hang on. So there you have it, number 2 of our farm to family table. And if you are watching this on replay, because our re-engage happens on Sundays at 11 o'clock, make sure you hit the subscribe button and follow. Learn more here. See you next week. We've got another good one about farm, family, and food. So again, adieu.